The Springfield XD series of guns has been a popular one on the market. Now, I bought my first XD a long time ago and liked that one so much that I bought another XD, and liked that one so much I bought another XD. Now, these are all different XDs, being the XD Subcompact, the XD-M, and now the XDS. But what I wanted to do for this video is give a comparison between two XDs that many people may be looking at, and that is the XD Subcompact in 9mm and the XDS in 9mm. So let's go ahead and break this down and take a look at some of the similarities and some of the differences. Let's look at what comes in the boxes first. The XD, you've got the gun with a flush fitting magazine and an extended magazine. We'll talk a little bit more about capacity later. You also have a holster and a mag pouch that will hold 2 mags. These, honestly, I don't think I've ever used, or maybe I've used it once or twice just to see what it was like. The XDS is similar in the setup in that you have a holster that comes with it. You have a mag pouch, polymer, that will take both mags. Comes with 2 mags. These happen to be flush fitting mags. You do have a lock for it, a little cleaning brush, as you do with the XD. Actually, I don't see a cleaning brush in this one. This one's so old actually that I don't know, it may have came with one. But that's just a quick look of what they look like when they come in the box and what you might get. Again, this I bought a long time ago, so they may have changed things a little bit since then. Here are the two pistols side by side, the XD Subcompact being on the left and the XDS being on the right. Wanted to go over some of the features that we often look at that we feel are important to us with concealment guns. These are built for concealment, if you don't know that already. The weight on the XD is 27 ounces and the weight on the XDS is 23 ounces. So a bit of a difference there between the weight. And in actuality, while we're talking about this, the XD line of guns tend to be a little heavier than most of the guns in their class. So these are actually a little on the heavy side compared to some of the other guns that are out there offered in these sizes. Does that matter to you? It may or may not. But the difference between these two, 5 ounces, XDS being 5 ounces lighter. Capacity is something we often think about. There is quite a difference in capacity between these two. The XDS, at least the ones that I've purchased, you have a mag capacity of 7, and it comes with a spare mag of 7. So you could have a total of 14, 15 if you carry one in the pipe. Now, the XD Subcompact, this mag is a 10 rounder, and I believe some of the newer ones are coming with 13 rounds. Like I said, this one though is a 10 round plus the extended mag that works very well, by the way, comes with a capacity of 16. So you're looking at what, 26 to 29 depending on what mag 10 or 13 rounder you get here. So quite a big difference in the XD versus the XDS on capacity with these two. Now the reason that is, if you don't know, is if you look at the magazines, this is what's known as a double stack for the XD. The XDS is what's known as a single stack. Now, that's where some of the compromise comes in, because double stack, this is going to be a bit harder to conceal depending on your clothing. Maybe winter it's not such of a problem, and maybe you don't even go with a gun this size. Maybe you go with a full-size gun. But comparing these two, this one is definitely going to be a little more difficult to conceal. This one being thinner is going to be much easier to conceal. Now, I haven't carried this one yet. I actually just got it today, but I have carried pistols in the past that have been very similar in width, and I love the way they concealed, and that's actually why I picked this one up, because I sold those and wanted another thin one. The sights on these, the XD Subcompact, it's just a standard 3-dot, kind of a plain Jane there. You can see your sight does not go all the way to the back of the gun. Whereas your XDS, it does go all the way to the back of the gun, so it's kind of an upgraded sight system. And then the front is a fiber optic sight. And actually in the box that I didn't show you is it comes with two tubes, one this kind of red-orange color and another one that's a green color. So in case this breaks, I guess you can replace or change the color out if you want. So I'm excited to try this sight system out. I like the different colored front sight versus the rear sights to get that quicker sight acquisition. So that'll be fun to play with, but that'll give you a little idea. This to me has a better sight system on it than this. From a combat perspective, if you had to rack this slide using one hand and your belt, this you can do it. There is a little bit of a lip there, enough that it will work, but it will not work as well as this. You can see the difference there. Let me get the XDS out there. You can see the difference where the XD it just has a much broader and more surface area to rack that slide on a belt or shoe or whatever you needed to. What else do we want to look at? The overall length on the XD is 6¼ inches and the XDS is 6.3 inches. So not a lot of difference there. Let's take a look at them side by side. That also gives you kind of a width look. So you can see that XDS is slightly longer. Now, barrel-wise, if you're carrying in the waistband, that's not going to matter at all because you can hide a long full-size barrel in there, no problem. Now, I have found outside the waistband, yeah, your shirt might protrude the end of the barrel there depending on its length. So inside the waistband, not a problem at all. Let's see how they look this way. Pretty comparable, it seems, as far as height goes. Well, let's see. Maybe it looks like the XDS is just going to be a little bit shorter, and actually where it is shorter there on the butt of the grip, that's going to be a critical measurement because often what prints in a gun is going to be this section of the gun. That's why you see a lot of the 1911s now that are bobbed. I really like the way those look. Those are kind of nice. Actually, it'd kind of be interesting to see that with this right here, maybe. I don't know. Just thinking out loud, guys. Barrel length, again, you can kind of see the difference. This XD is 3 inches where this is 3.3 inches. So like we just saw, this will be a little bit longer. Width, let's look at the width again. Now, obviously there's a difference in width. And some of you may be looking at that saying, well, that's really not that big of a difference. But trust me, guys, when you're carrying concealed, oops, I just bumped the camera. Let me fix that. All right, so talking about that width. So when you're carrying concealed, it is a big difference between the slimness and a little bit of the fat Twinkie eating one on the left there. Again, what you get with concealability, you lose with round capacity that you gain with this. So something to think about. Trigger pull on these. These have been safety checked, by the way. The XD, I like the trigger pull. It's a little spongy at first, but the break is nice and clean. The XDS, again, I haven't shot this gun yet, so just comparing these dry fire. And the reason I can't do this later, guys, is honestly I'm selling this gun tomorrow. But this trigger pull is pretty sweet. I'm very excited to shoot this. Now, real quick, the reason I'm selling this gun is not because I don't like it. I actually like it very much. But I have a Glock 27 and this little XD, to me, are very redundant, these two. They're just pretty much the same gun as far as size and width and everything. Redundant. So, and this is my carry gun, and yes, it is loaded. So I'm going to get rid of the redundancy and go with something a little slimmer that might help me, more kind of the summer type thing, or possibly even a good backup gun somewhere if needed. So trigger pull, great. Now, one thing that both these guns offer that many in this size do not is a rail system. Glock, I wish you guys had put a rail system, at least the option on there. That would be nice. So here's the XD. I do have a flashlight. This is an Insight X2 flashlight. This is an older flashlight. It's good, but it is older, so it's not the LED technology. But I bought it specifically for my XD, and you can see how it fits on there, what it looks like. And of course, the XDS being a thinner gun, this same flashlight won't work on it, right? Wrong, it does. So even though this is a thinner gun, the measurements here to put something, flashlight, laser, some accessory on, is going to be the same. Now what I do find seems to be a little bit longer stretch from my finger to get to that on-off switch on the XDS. Let's try it here. Yeah, just a little bit. It's easier on the XD to get to that weapon light and manipulate it versus the XDS. Backstrap, that is going to be a difference between those two. The XD, you can see here, does not have the option of changing out the back straps. The XDS has an option of 2. So this is the thicker one, and it also has a thinner one. So that may or may not be important to you, but it is a difference. A lot of the similarities, trigger as far as the way they operate with their what they call USA safety system, something like that. Grip safety on both of them. Some are going to like that, some are not. XD, again here on the left, has a striker that will protrude when the gun is in battery. There you can see it right there, where the XDS does not. They both have loaded chamber indicators. You can see the difference there. The XD is much bigger than the XD, or I'm sorry, the XD is much smaller than the XDS. This, do I need this loaded chamber indicator? No. In fact, what I would prefer on both of these is honestly more of the just cutout in the barrel where you could look down and see. Let's talk a little bit more as well up top here. These serrations on the XD, I think they work just fine. I like them. But the XDM and the XDS, these serrations are a lot more aggressive, and I tend to like more aggressive type patterns. And again, you'll see that in the grip here versus the XD, where it's a lot smoother. Again, I think I've said this before in another video, but if this were my main carry gun, what I would do is put some grip tape on it like I have my Glock. That's one thing I think the Glocks are missing out on, with the exception of the Gen 4. They've done a lot better with the grip, in my opinion. Again, a lot of guys don't like aggressive texture. I do. Cost difference on these, you're gonna generally, I kind of ballparked it in a couple of different places. This is gonna be $50 less than this. So you're looking at anywhere from about, I don't know, $500 to $550 to $550 to $600, somewhere in that ballpark at the time I'm filming this video. If you really look hard, I actually got this for $520. I got a good deal on this. So if you hunt hard enough, you can get some pretty good deals. Anyway, guys, I hope that was interesting. Just kind of a fun comparison between the XD and the XDS.